The Second Crusade occurred from 1145 AD to 1149 AD. It was prompted when Imad al-Din Zengi attacked and conquered the Christian city of Edessa in 1144, one of the four Crusader states. Pope Eugene III issued a crusading bull to King Louis VII of France, or to some, Louis the Younger. Pope Eugene was currently in exile in France after being forced there by his enemy Arnold of Brescia. King Louis VII was eager to go and gathered up his army. He met with Emperor Conrad III of Germany at Constantinople in 1147. Conrad was convinced to go on the crusade by Abbot Bernard of Clairvaux, who was declared the preacher of the crusade.
Conrad had previously launched attacks against the Muslims before being joined by King Louis. These attacks were not fruitful and got defeated by the Muslims. At the same time, there were sanctioned crusades against the Muslims in Spain, and the winds at the Baltic Sea. Finally, Louis got to Constantinople and teamed up with the remnant of Conrad's army. These crusaders got together an army close to 50,000 men. They decided to attack Damascus, a huge city in modern-day Syria, because Imad al-Din Zengi had made Edessa a very difficult target to capture. The Crusaders laid siege to Damascus, but they had to break off the siege when a Muslim army under the command of Nur al-Din started marching toward them. This ended the Second Crusade. This was a huge failure for the Christians and success for the Muslims, showing the Muslims that the Christian armies could be defeated. One big effect of the Second Crusade was that Bernard started to preach that this failure was because of the sinfulness of Europe and they need to repent. This became a core belief in crusading ideology and lay piety. Failure or bad things were signs of God's disdain in your actions.
The Third Crusade. Before going in depth about the Third Crusade, there is some very important background information that must be explained. In 1169, Nur al-Din and Saladin captured Cairo. When Nur al-Din died, Saladin took control. In 1187, he starts to launch attacks on the Kingdom of Jerusalem. Saladin is very successful in his attacks against this Christian kingdom. But the event that pushed the Europeans over the edge was the crushing defeat of the Frankish armies at Hattin in 1187 by Saladin.
This prompted King Henry II of England, King Philip II of France, and King Richard I of England and the Holy Roman Emperor Frederick Barbarossa. The Third Crusade officially started in 1189 and went till 1192. It started off quite terribly, with Frederick Barbarossa drowning in Anatolia trying to cross the river. His men left and went home. Then Henry II of England died, leaving Richard I to take control of the English forces. Then Philip II left just Richard to fight Saladin. The Crusaders managed to capture Acre in 1191, but this was a huge stain in the history of Richard. When Saladin would not deliver a ransom and a holy relic to the Crusaders for the return of Acre, a garrison of Richard's slaughtered 2,700 of the Saracens. Finally, in 1191, Richard defeats Saladin in Arsuf. This led to the peace treaty in 1192. Richard had gained free passage for pilgrims to Jerusalem, also a thin strip of land along the Mediterranean, but he had failed to achieve any long-lasting effects. Then, to add insult to injury, he was captured in Austria and held for ransom. The ransom was double the annual income of England.